In this video, what I want to cover is local storage and session storage. What do I mean? Let's get into it. Well, at this point I have an index.html page, and that's just a simple, index page that I just created really quickly. The main idea though is that I am going to be including this script.js file, which is going to be this one. And this is where I'm going to add the functionality for local storage and session storage. So anyway, what happens when I run this page? Well, when I run this page, this is the page I get. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a Chrome Developer Tools open here on the right side, and I just want to see what happens when I add some JavaScript. And let's just prove that this, in fact, is being pulled here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little simple console.log. It gets to this line, something like that. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to go ahead and run it here. And I'm going to see that it gets to this line that is being pulled in. So that's exactly what we want. And so far, that's good. So what I want to show you all is that now what we could do is say something like local storage dot set item, and I can set some key like best player of all time, and I'm gonna say Jordan, something like that. And if we save this and we run it, let's see what happens. So it gets to this line. So let's go now and see an application. We go to local storage, go to file. We see that we do have best player of all time. That's Jordan. So that is being saved in the browser's local storage. But how can we display that here? Well, let's see if we can just display that here with an alert, for example. We can say console. Why don't we just console log it? Since we're already doing that, we can say local storage dot get item, and then we're going to say what key. Well, it's going to be this one, best player of all time. And let's go ahead and console log that. If we refresh this page and we empty this out and we refresh, we get to see that we do in fact get Jordan. And so we see that we can get to this, we can save that value and we can retrieve that value, and that's with local storage. That means that if we close this browser and we open it back up again, and we go back to that same place, we're going to see that we do have that Jordan still. So basically local storage persists even if you close that browser window. Now, let's go ahead and talk about session storage. Session storage is going to be exactly the same, but instead of local, we'll say session. And here what we're going to say is instead of local, we'll say session storage. Session storage. And before we do anything else now, let's just remove this local storage from here because we don't want it here anymore. And we'll see that session storage is empty now. So they're both empty. Local storage is empty, session storage is empty. If we refresh, we'll see that now session storage has it. Best player of all time is Jordan. Local storage doesn't have it. Now the beauty of this is that if you wanted to go ahead and close the browser and you come back up with a Chrome tab and you visited that website again, well, what you should see is that you shouldn't have this session storage anymore. And let's go to application and see. Well, it does happen here, and it's because why? Let's make sure that we close all my browsers, and then let's go back to it again. We open up Chrome, back to that file. Now we go back to these developer tools, and we'll go to application. It's still here, and it shouldn't be here. It should belong. It shouldn't belong to the session storage anymore, and I think it's because I'm doing this locally. But the fact is that if I had something if I had something, if I had this page running on not my desktop, for example, but it was some site, as soon as I close it, that should blow away. And that's the main idea here with local storage versus session storage. Session storage goes away with the tab. Local storage persists through the tabs, right? So hopefully that makes sense, and I hope this is helpful for everybody.